Stadium MK, let's hear you get behind your MK Dons!
Comes in, decent challenge from Kasumu. It's gone out of play and will be a throw to AFC Wimbledon. Three County Sport on 104.5 FM. Good afternoon wherever you're listening, and I follow MK Dons in Milton Keynes, the UK, or indeed you could be sunning yourself somewhere nice. It's starting to turn a little chilly in England as the ball's played forward for the Dons. Sam Nombe trying to get onto it. Let's take you through team news before we get to any further action. MK Dons, well, make 5 changes from the side that lost against Accrington, just 2 from the one that beat Stevenage. They'll line up with they do line up with Lee in goal, Williams, Martin and Walsh at the back, McGrandles on the right side, Lewington on the left side, midfield 3 of Houghton, Kasumu and Gilby, Nombe and Healy up front. The substitutes: Moore, Bowery, Dickinson, Agard, Boateng, Harley, Asan Gagne and Simon Oxley is alongside me, and the 2 names that raise eyebrows are David Kasumu and Sam Nombe. Simon,
well, if they're good enough, they're old enough. He's put the kids in, the 19-year-old Kasumu, 20-year-old Nombe in form after that brace against Stevenage, albeit a weakened Stevenage side in the trophy in the week, and Kieran Agard and Hiram Boateng, 2 experienced players, sat on the bench. So he's made the changes, Paul Tisdale. Bit of a gamble putting the youngsters in, but they're in form. Let's see how it goes.
Walsh, they are in form. Nombe the top scorer at the moment, 3 goals, none in the league of course, but he has scored 3 goals in all competitions, Sam Nombe, and he is the club's leading scorer, which is incredible really. The other player who's got a couple of goals, Conor McGrandles, of course, Callum Britton's got 2 and Rhys Healy's got 2. Only 2 players out of those 2 have got a goal in the league, so there we go. Only 6 goals scored in League One this season for MK Dons. A lot of their goals have come in cup competitions, of course. That 4-1 win at Southend, the 3-0 win against Stevenage midweek. And MK Dons defending at the moment. This is dangerous. On this right hand side, Luke O'Neill will deliver low into the area. There was a handball there, surely there was a handball, and I'm surprised the referee's assistant on this near side didn't flag straight away, and the referee behind him in a worse position saw it.
Yeah, a bit of space for O'Neill on the right hand side, trying to find Scott Wagstaff inside the box. Clearly brought it under control with his arm. As you say, the assistant was about 5 yards away, but it was the referee Bentona from some distance who gave it.
Here's Walsh, left hand side. Long ball forward for MK Dons. 2 hands in the back and a very obvious foul from Terrell Thomas on MK Dons number 10 Rhys Healy, and it will be a free kick in a pretty good position for MK Dons, left hand side of the penalty area.
For a right footer to curl in. Lewington's there, but it looks as though Jordan Houghton will curl it in right footed. If he gets this right, it should be an open invitation to those in white, attacking the end away to our left hand side to try and get on the end of it.
3 minutes played here at Stadium MK and 104.5 FM, and I follow MK Dons. Luke Ashmead and Simon Oxley watching MK Dons against AFC Wimbledon. Houghton and Lewington over this free kick. Houghton, it will be an in-swinging right boot, which I think it will be. No, it's Lewington, left-footed, delivers it low. And I'm with Simon. I think Houghton with a right foot curling towards the goal would have been a better option.
Yeah, it wasn't a great
out
cross,
for a corner, by the way.
It's a poor one from Lewington, comfortably dealt with. They have got a corner out of it, but it was a poor free kick. Didn't beat the first man.
No, poor. Houghton over this. Lewington short, but I don't think he's going to play it to Dean Lewington, which is always a bit. That's a terrible corner in from Houghton.
We've got another one because they didn't really know what to do. I think they were so surprised at the near post they've just put it out again.
Dreadful delivery. I mean, I could step up and do better than that. It was appalling for a professional footballer. I mean, he chipped it, didn't even make it to the 6-yard box. For a corner again. He's tried the same one, and it hasn't worked again, and it's headed away.
He has no run-up, does he, Houghton? He just sort of clips it in, but there's no power behind it.
You know, and what is the point of Lewington standing there? I'm not sure. I'm really not. You know, he's not the smallest of players. Lewington, surely he can be useful in the air. Anyway, throw in on this near side after all that. Poor early set piece from MK Dons, but they have had lion's share of the possession in the first nearly 5 minutes. Healy with the throw, long throw into the penalty area. Lots of bodies jump, header from George Williams, who always leaps far higher than his height, and it's a high header, and it's over the bar, and it will be a goal kick.
Quite a weapon, that, isn't it? Healy really launches it into the box. I thought keeper McDonald might come for that because he was hanging up in the air, but he's not the tallest, is he, Joe McDonald? He's in the AFC side today because Nathan Trott is away on England under-21 duty. McDonald, one of the changes they've made. They've only made a couple from last week when they drew with Wickham.
Header away by Joe Walsh for MK Dons. Healy challenging with O'Neill. AFC Wimbledon all in blue. Just that little flash of yellow on their badge, on their arms. MK Dons all in white here at Stadium MK. Last two meetings between these two sides in all competition have finished level after 90 minutes. 0-0 draw at Stadium MK, of course, here in January 2018, and that 2-2 draw last month in the League Cup. MK Dons went on to win on penalties. And so far it's 0-0 here. Williams forward, long ball over the halfway line towards Nombe, takes it on his chest, tries to control it, falls nicely though for Houghton. Here's Nombe running into the penalty area, still Sam Nombe, good strong run from him, gets the ball across, plenty of bodies there, headed down right into the arms of the goalkeeper, and I think that was that Alex Gilby got up and got the header, and it's gone behind for a corner. Nice slick move that from MK Dons, and Nombe at the heart of it.
He was, yeah, did well to win the ball, kept going, got the cross in. He was forced out wide but still sat up the cross to the back post, and it was Alex Gilby got his header down. It should have been a fairly routine save for McDonald. He's turned it behind for a corner, but he really should have collected, I think, but he's forced another corner.
Another corner for MK Dons on their left-hand side. Lewington with an outswinger this time. Header away was a decent one, and first-time effort, almost stabbed at it, did Alex Gilby, and it just rose over the bar, Simon.
Time to bring it under control, I thought there. Yeah, Lewington with a left-footed one just slightly deceived the defence. They were all expecting another ball clipped into the near post from Houghton, and Lewington went longer, and it was flicked away by one of the centre-halves. They've gone with three centre-halves, Wimbledon. Came to Gilby on the edge of the box, couldn't quite keep the shot down, but had time probably to bring it under control.
And MK Dons have started the brighter of the two sides here at Stadium MK. 7 minutes played, 0-0 on Three Counties Sport. Reminder later in the day from 2 o'clock, Jeff Doyle will pick up. Wickham and Stevenage both in action this afternoon, and full commentary of both those games in Three Counties Sport in its regular home at 2 o'clock, of course, on a Saturday afternoon with Jeff. Here's Williams for MK Dons. Williams playing on the right side of that back three this afternoon. Down the line it goes for Sam Nombe. He's causing them problems, isn't he? His pace is causing them problems.
Stretching the defenders. It was Delaney who went with him that time, just pulling the defenders out of position.
Throwing on the far side for MK Dons. McGrandles has it, throws to Houghton, back to McGrandles. He's got Williams in as an option, doesn't take it, and it's smashed against the Wimbledon player, and there's going to be a throw-in on that side again. The referee's flag looked like he was waving for an offside then. Put it up in an offside fashion, but it's not offside, of course. Clearance for AFC Wimbledon. Kasumu gets it back in. Here's Houghton. Back to Kasumu, clips it on, tries to get McGrandles and follow his run, but can't. It goes out of play for a goal kick. Just a reminder, if you've just tuned in, MK Dons lining up with Lee in goal, a back three of Williams, Martin and Walsh. McGrandles on the right-hand side, Lewington on the left, Houghton, Kasumu and Gilby, Nombe and Healy up front. That's the lineup. An interesting one for many reasons. When you look at the bench, I wonder if we'll see a Brennan Dickinson today on that left-hand side, maybe to replace Dean Lewington. He looked quite sharp. His delivery and his left foot, Brennan Dickinson, one of the best at this level, I think.
Yeah, looks like a good signing if they can get him up to speed, and that's what the trophy can be used for, to get players up to speed. I was going to say the League Cup, but perhaps not when you've got Liverpool next up. But it's a bright start for MK Dons.
Yeah,
plenty of possession. Wimbledon have offered next to nothing so far.
Here's Lewington. MK Dons in charge of this game, even though it is still 0-0 at the moment. Up towards Nombe. Nombe quite strong up against Paul Kalambai. That's decent. Kasumu, good control in the middle of the park. Great to see homegrown talent here at Stadium MK in the starting team against AFC Wimbledon on this Saturday afternoon. Just Saturday afternoon, of course. Williams forward to McGrandles. McGrandles turns, gets it through. Here's Nombe. Is Nombe going to get there? Nombe is going to get there! Oh, and it's there! It's in off the left-hand post. I think it hit the right-hand post. And it's in the back of the net. Great work, great strength and brilliant speed from Sam Nombe. Picked today here at Stadium MK. He's one of their own and he's scored the first goal. MK Dons 1, AFC Wimbledon 0.
Well, if you're good enough, you're old enough, and the gamble has paid off for manager Paul Tisdale. What a ball as well from McGrandles to play him through, and he held off the big centre-half there, Terrell Thomas, and just shrugged him off, kept his footing, didn't go down, and tucked it past the goalkeeper. I think it hit both posts before it went in. But a great finish from Nombe. Look, he's in form. He might have scored only in the trophy in the week, but nonetheless, he's found the back of the net, and he's found the back of the net again today. Good on him.
I tell you what, he had a lot of work to do from the point that he picked up the ball. He was being held off the ball, and he used his strength, and for a young lad his size, he really did use his strength, and his finish was superb. That's a wonderful goal for MK Dons to get this afternoon underway, and we've had 11 minutes played. Sam Nombe, his 4th goal of the season, and now he has got one in the league. Here's Walsh, clips it forward for the run of Nombe. This looks to be an inspired choice from the manager. Has that gone out of play? It hasn't. He is causing them so many problems. Can't deal with the pace. It's clear, but only as far as Lewington. Here's Kasumu. Poor touch from Kasumu. Allows in Apaya, and AFC Wimbledon will deal with that. They won't deal with Rhys Healy, who wins the ball back. And Delaney eventually tidies up, and they look all at sea.
They do, yeah. There's 2 or 3 of them following Nombe every time. Nobody knows who to pick him, who's picking him up, rather.
Long ball forward. Onside is Apaya. Apaya plays it back. This is dangerous. Piggott with a long-range effort. Comes off Kasumu or Walsh. Couldn't quite see which one. It's gone behind. It will be the first AFC Wimbledon corner.
First semblance of pressure from AFC Wimbledon, and they forced a corner. So Dons just need to switch on here at the back. They've not had much to do in the opening, 11 minutes. But an opportunity from the set piece for the visitors.
Corner then. Callum Riley will take this. Left-footed, raises his right arm. Left-footed, across it goes. Plenty of bodies there. That came off Joe Walsh, didn't it? It did come off Joe Walsh. It's gone behind for another corner to AFC. And we've had 12 minutes played. And the boos there for Luke O'Neill as he goes across towards those MK Don supporters. I have to say, as a rivalry, this is quietened down through the years to the point now that it's
they have played a lot of times, actually.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. Here's the corner from the other side. Across it goes. Header away was a decent one from Alex Gilby. High, it lofts up. Callum Riley puts it back in. Conor McGrandles was fouled as he tried to get the ball away by Joe Piggott, and it will be a free kick to MK Dons just outside their own penalty area. Three County Sport on 104.5 FM this afternoon. Luke Ashmead and Simon Oxley, and already we've had a goal at Stadium MK, and it was a cracking goal as well from Sam Nombe. Working his way through the academy ranks. He started against AFC Wimbledon and he scored within 10 minutes. And a super goal it was as well. Here's Williams. Williams to McGrandles. Back to Williams. Long lofted ball forward down that right-hand side towards Nombe. Nombe got a shove in the back, but the player who shoved him in the back, Delaney, also got a bit of the ball and he's put it out of play and a throw-in's taken. Williams. Now to Russell Martin. And now McGrandles. Houghton. Bit slow to the ball, Houghton. Williams, they're chasing the ball and pressing well at AFC. Here's Walsh. Walsh. Lewington to Russell Martin. Now to Williams, just slowing it down a touch. They've got the goal and now just keeping the ball, and they're keeping the ball very well. Sharp play from MK Dons. Now Martin to Walsh on this left-hand side. Walsh has Gilby in front of him. He's also got Lewington in front of him. Doesn't have too much in the way of options, and it almost feels as if AFC Wimbledon have finally just calmed down a bit and worked out what they're doing. But they need to work this out because Gilby's taking it forward. And they just seemed to get their shape right there for a second, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they settled down.
Throw in taken by Gilby. Here's Walsh. Not closed down, I have to say, very well quickly. And plays the ball back to Martin. Martin. Flicked on by Joe Walsh. That's not going to come through to anyone other than Luke O'Neill. He rolls it back to his goalkeeper, McDonnell. McDonnell will clear upfield. Right-footed clearance. Long one as well. Williams is going to allow that to bounce. Looks at it to head it and thought, Piggott, I'm a good jumper, but Piggott's a bit bigger than me. Just use his strength to keep Piggott away, and it's bowled through, and Lee gets it back to Williams. Williams to McGrandles. McGrandles just tries to get it forward. Comes off an AFC Wimbledon player on that far side. Guinness Walker, who I was told looked very good in the cup game. Square pass across the defence to Callum Bay. Here's O'Neill. O'Neill comes inside. Kusumu looking to tidy this up. Does. To Walsh. Walsh to Martin. 3 County Sport. 15 minutes played. MK Dons 1. AFC Wimbledon 0. Sam Nombe with the goal here. And a reminder later on at 2 o'clock, Jeff Daw will pick up choice of commentaries this afternoon. Wickham and Stevenage both in action in League 1 and League 2. International weekend, of course. No Watford, no Luton this week. They will be back. Don't you worry. Here's Martin. The game has slowed right down.
It has, yeah. Wimbledon happy just to defend their half and just keeping Dons at arm's length.
Here goes Gilby. Gilby's offside, and it will be a free kick.
Yeah, they're just sort of playing it patiently across that back three of Williams, Martin and Walsh, looking to Lewington to push forward. I would have thought McGrandles a bit more down the right-hand side, but they seem to be coming down this left-hand side because he's got Gilby to support him. From a Wimbledon point of view, you've got Piggott up front. He's a big lad. When you play it forward to him, you want him holding it up. You're under pressure. You're away from home, and he's not held the ball up at all. Apart from those couple of corners, they've had nothing.
Ball played up towards Piggott, as if somebody was listening to Simon and decided, yeah, let's play up to Piggott. That seems like a good idea. Simon Oxley says so. And it doesn't come to anything, and it's through with
Well,
Lee
they've packed it at the back, and they've gone with 3 centre-halves and wing-backs, and, you know, quite tight in the midfield there, with Nightingale, who's normally a defender, playing in that sort of central midfield area. So, there's an onus on the 2 up front to do something.
Do something, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When it comes forward, just, hold it up, wait for the supporting players.
Martin just plays it in front and nicely to George Williams. George Williams on that right-hand side takes the ball over the halfway line. Square pass to Kusumu. Lovely feet from David Kusumu. Just puts it into the path of Walsh. Walsh will play it first time. You could see what Walsh was thinking. Just unfortunate that Sam Nombe wasn't thinking the same thing.
Yeah, he had to play it first time, Walsh, because Kusumu had done well to get away from one challenge, but the pass then to Walsh just sold him a little bit short, and he had to take it first time, and then he overhit it trying to play it through to Nombe. But
it's those lovely feet and tricks from the youngsters are great as long as the pass at the end of it works.
Yeah. They've lots of possession, MK, but Wimbledon have tightened it up. So you need that pass that McGrandles threaded through to Nombe for the goal. Just be patient, but those players have got a show to make that run.
Martin forward towards Gilby, header back by O'Neill was decent, and after a really shaky first 10 minutes, AFC Wimbledon they've dug in a little bit, and I think they've said, well, whatever happens, we're not going to concede a second, because at the time that the goal was scored, the Dons were completely in charge.
Yeah, they hadn't worked out who was picking up Nombe, had they really? No. They seem more comfortable with their formation now.
Ball forward towards O'Neill. Here is the number 2. Delivers, cross towards the big man, Joe Piggott. Fallen to the far side, and Guinness Walker hits it against McGrandles. And it's going to be a throw on the far side to AFC Wimbledon. 18 minutes played, 1-0 to MK Dons. Little touch there from Callum Riley. Guinness Walker tries to chase the ball down. Nombe goes past him, keeps the ball in play. Lovely play from Sam Nombe on that far side, and a good ball forward for Kusumu. Healy chasing after this, just doesn't have quite the best pace to get past Callum Bai. And intelligent play from the 2 youngsters linking up there, Nombe and Kusumu. And the Kusumu's pass was just asking a little bit too much of Rhys Healy, and maybe Rhys Healy in a month's time might have got past the first player.
Yeah, Callum Bai he was too quick for him there.
O'Neill. Terrell Thomas will play it over to the far side, and Ryan Delaney. Delaney with a long ball forward towards Apaya. Out of play, throw. It's not a hugely entertaining game right at this moment. MK Dons are leading, and that's the most important thing. Williams forward towards Nombe. Nombe on his chest. Delaney puts the ball out of play, but can't nick the ball away from Sam Nombe and keep it, so it's going to be a throw to MK Dons here on 104.5 FM, Three Counties Sport. Throw-in taken by Conor McGrandles, picked up by Williams. Williams to Martin. Martin, control wasn't brilliant, and he's just pointing where he wants Joe Walsh to go, which is a little in front of him. And the pace is so slow. I think I could play at this pace. Very, very slow. Walsh now chips it forward for the run of Rhys Healy. Healy's first touch, will he keep it in play? Not quite. Trying to get him in. And Danny Butterfield just giving some instructions to Williams and to Martin, I think, how he wants the ball played. I think they just want it a bit snappier. A little bit snappier.
Try to go down the centre a little bit more. You know, that's how the goal came about. It's a great ball, and you're not going to produce that all the time, but just try it. Try it a bit more. Try and thread it through a bit more.
0-0 draw, of course, the last time these two sides were here in January 2018. And it was a good year for MK Dons, that, because they won at Kingston. Here's Nombe. Nombe trying to get the better of the AFC Wimbledon defenders. They do not like him running at them.
No, Thomas was unsure there. Thomas and Delaney getting in each other's way. That was just a hopeful punt forward,
really,
but at least it was more central.
Yeah. Here's Lewington. Lewington almost level with the penalty area, looking for somebody to throw to. He throws it to Kasumu. Kasumu tries to get it back to Dean Lewington. And the Wimbledon defender opts to let it roll out of play, and it will be a goal kick. Three Counties Sport on BBC Three Counties Radio, covering MK Dons every game all season on 104.5 FM. AFC have only won here once, of course, in the Johnston's Paint Trophy. A 3-2 win. Powell and Afobe got the goals for MK Dons that day. A certain Adebayo Akinfenwa got the winner for AFC Wimbledon. Well, whatever happened to him? Here's O'Neill. O'Neill chips the ball forward. Good ball as well, but Walsh saw it, came across, dealt with it. Lewington can't keep it in play, and it'll be a throw that Wagstaff points to exactly where that throw is going to be taken. And I think this is probably a decent time. 22 minutes played to take you through to half-time. Simon Oxley.
Thank you, Luke. 1-0 then to MK Dons. Sam Nombe's goal separating the sides. It's an AFC Wimbledon throw. O'Neill throws it into Nightingale, back to O'Neill. Now Kalumbai, and has to go all the way back to Terrell Thomas on halfway. Plays it across to Delaney. Wimbledon all in blue, attacking the cowshed end here. Great ball out to O'Neill down the right-hand side, trying to get away from Lewington. Lewington, though, sticks in a foot and finds Gilby, and then Gilby sets off down the left-hand side up towards the halfway line. Nightingale with him. Nightingale gets a touch. Gilby had left it behind, but Nightingale's touch is the one that takes it out for a throw on this near side. Ball retrieved by Paul Tisdale. Gives it to Lewington. Lewington throws it back to Walsh, back to Lewington again. As Luke was saying, that just being patient, well, that's one way of looking at it, or it's just slowing the game right down when they just sort of play it across the defensive line. Now George Williams goes long from inside his own half towards the goal scorer. Nombe gets a little flick onto it, but it goes straight through to the Wimbledon keeper, Joe McDonnell, all in green. One of the changes for Wimbledon after their draw against Wickham in the league a week ago. MK Dons making 5 changes from the side which disappointingly lost at Accrington. Forward for Rapaya to chase after. Lee Nichols comes out to gather in his claret and orange, would you call that? Red and orange goalkeeper's kit. Here's Walsh coming forward now over the halfway line from a quick throw out from Nichols. Back to Gilby. Gilby onto his right foot, clips it forward looking for Nombe. Headed away by Thomas. Kasumu with a little touch and has support now from Jordan Houghton. Houghton with George Williams to his right. Just underplays it really, Houghton. And, well, they did well to win a throw from really that because Houghton and Williams getting in each other's way. But they did win a throw, and now Williams goes all the way back to Russell Martin. 1-0 to MK Dons. We've played nearly 24 minutes here at Stadium MK on a chilly, overcast Saturday lunchtime, and that ball looking to get Houghton away down the right-hand side is overhit from Walsh and straight out of play for a Wimbledon throw. Not really pushed on, have they, from getting that goal?
No, and it's a shame. And I'm just thinking about some of the things that Paul Tisdale has said in press interviews recently, where he felt they needed to go back to basics. They needed to keep clean sheets, do the simple things, and it looks like that's what they're doing at the moment. The simple things.
Yes. Here's Walsh again. Good work from Kasumu to win the ball back. Lewington now on halfway. Three Counties Sport this Saturday lunchtime, 104.5 FM across the new city of Milton Keynes. Live around the world on Don's iFollow. Very good afternoon to you wherever you're listening. Simon Oxley and Luke Ashmead at Stadium MK this afternoon. 1-0 to MK Dons, who are in possession now with Houghton on halfway. Across to Joe Walsh. Walsh plays it out to Dean Lewington. Lewington back to Walsh. A little bit casual, but Walsh makes the best of it. Comes forward now away from Appiah. Still Walsh down the left-hand side. Still Joe Walsh, level with the Wimbledon penalty area. Back heels it nicely for Healy. Back to Kasumu. Kasumu inside to Houghton. Back again to Kasumu, but it goes back to Martin. They're keeping possession, but it needs an end product after all this possession. Gilby now to George Williams down the right-hand side. Williams plays it into McGrandles. Back to goal. Edge of the penalty area. McGrandles gets it back to Gilby. Gilby back inside to Healy. Healy now takes a touch. Edge of the area. Healy across the face of goal and into the corner of the net. And I said it needed an end product when you've had so much possession. And Rhys Healy has provided that end product. Patient. Then the turn. The positional play from Healy to create the opening for himself and drove it right-footed beyond McDonnell. It's a second goal for MK Dons. It's Rhys Healy's third of the season. 25 minutes gone. Dons 2, Wimbledon 0.
Well, maybe they'll open up a little bit now. I mean, a great finish from Rhys Healy, and you just felt when he shifted the ball onto the right-hand side, it just gave him a little bit of space. Nobody closed him down, and you cannot give Rhys Healy that kind of space in that position, 18 yards out to finish, and it was a cracking finish low. In fact, I think the goalkeeper's position was decent. It's just that the finish was so far over, there's no way he could have got to it. Great finish, 2-0, and they should now go on and comfortably win this game. They are an absolute control, Simon.
Absolutely, Here's Guinness Walker now down the left-hand side for Wimbledon, up towards the edge of the Dons penalty area. Flicks it back inside to Riley. Riley onto his left foot. Support from Guinness Walker into the edge of the box. It's cleared by Houghton. Kasumu volleys it forward for Nombe to scamper after. Thomas comes across and heads it out of play, and that'll be an MK Dons throw. Wimbledon just being picked off, really. I mean, that was just patient stuff, but it needed the end product, and on that occasion it was provided.
It really did come.
There's Lewington. So goals from the front too, from Nombe and Healy. MK Dons 2-0 up here at Stadium MK, and not really breaking sweat, if I'm perfectly honest. Here's McGrandles inside his own half. Back to Williams. Williams across to Walsh. Well, in the build-up, Wally Downs, the Wimbledon manager, was saying, well, this is like a local derby. Well, it ain't being played like a local derby at the moment. It's been played like a training match. They're not in it at all, the visitors.
No.
Here's Healy. Not that MK Dons are tearing them apart. Healy caught late there. Referee's wave, play on. Forward towards McGrandles on the edge of the box. He slides in, can't keep the ball in. Ball goes out of play for a goal kick, but the referee will...
for me, that's a yellow card.
Call somebody across. I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Guinness Walker who caught Healy. He's just getting a talking to from referee Ben Toner.
I think he's a lucky boy, Simon, actually.
Because MK Dons aren't hitting their straps, but they're far too comfortable against a very lacklustre AFC Wimbledon team, I have to say. Joe McDonnell clears upfield right-footed, flicked on by Appiah. That was better towards Piggott, but George Williams shepherds it back to Lee Nichols, and Lee Nichols gathers just inside the penalty area. 28 minutes gone, 2-0 MK Dons leading against old rivals AFC Wimbledon. Walsh inside his own half to Kasumu, back to the experienced Russell Martin. Now Williams. McGrandles, who created the opening goal for Sam Nombe. Nombe in the side today, and young David Kasumu, two of the youngsters here. preferred to the likes of Agard and Boateng, who are on the bench, and it's a selection decision which is paying dividends at the moment for Paul Tisdale. But here's Wagstaff now down the right-hand side. Kasumu with him. Wagstaff for Wimbledon, midway inside the Dons half. Back to Nightingale. Nightingale, little short pass to Riley. Across to the left-hand side to Guinness Walker. Walker up towards the edge of the penalty area. Low cross, powerful header straight at the goalkeeper. Good header from Piggott, actually, from some way out, but straight at Lee Nichols. And Nichols then clears quickly upfield, long right-footed, looking for Nombe once again, but it's headed away by Thomas. But then won back by Rhys Healy, ahead of Kalumbai. Still Rhys Healy down the left-hand side, waiting for some support. Good play from Rhys Healy. Support from Lewington, back to Walsh, and Walsh across to Martin. Good header actually from Piggott, from some way out, and if Lee Nichols hadn't been so well positioned, that could have been a problem.
Just had to be in the right place, didn't he? And even he's doing the simple things well, positionally. This is quite an intelligent performance from MK Dons at the moment. They just know they're better at the moment, don't they? And so they're not taking any chances, but they are dangerous.
There's Martin. Martin threads it through the middle. Healy flicks it on towards Nombe. Nombe's got away again inside the box. Still Nombe with a shot, and he couldn't keep it down. Goes over the crossbar. Healy's taking the hits for the kid. No, he's got caught again there, Rhys Healy, but he flicked it on, and Nombe's all over Thomas, and he just brought that down. He was on his left foot. He couldn't quite keep the shot down. Will probably feel he should have hit the target, but again, he's pulling and pushing the defenders left, right and centre.
Well, 30 minutes into this game, I don't see how Paul Tisdale cannot start Sam Nombe if he's fit in the league. I don't know how you can't.
Not on this evidence, no. No, he's a starter for the next fortnight, next 3 weeks.
Do you know what I mean, Simon?
Here's Piggott. Piggott, long way out. Oh, just over the crossbar. He's tried again from distance, Piggott. And Lee Nichols was stretching there. He's about 25 yards out there. Piggott just broke for him. And he's thought, do you know what? We're not getting much chance inside the penalty area. I'll have a go. And he's just knocked in a volley there from about 25 yards out, and Lee Nichols scrambling across, relieved to see it go just over.
Well, it hit the top of the net, didn't it? It hit the top netting as it came down. I think that was a cracking effort from Piggott. Very, very close, that one from Joe Piggott. Struck it ever so cleanly. Lee Nichols was there, but I think had it gone under the bar, I'm not sure whether Nichols would have got it.
No, I don't think so.
And it hit the top of the net as it went past.
Just
Great
a warning sign there.
It really was.
Just a warning sign that, Wimbledon almost back in the game there. Not too far away from MK Dons being 3-0 up. As it is only 2, but nearly 2-1. Now forward for Nombe again. Thomas heads it away. Healy looking to pick up the bits and pieces. Gilby's there first. Gilby, nothing available to his right, so he goes left and plays it out to Lewington. Walsh is charging forward in support. Still Lewington. Finds Joe Walsh now on this left-hand side. Tackle comes in from Wagstaff, throw MK Dons.
You said something really key there, picking up the bits and pieces. That's what they've done. MK Dons have picked up all the bits and pieces as well. That's why they've had so much possession as well, because every time one of those long balls is played forward, and you can understand why they're doing it, because they're having success with Nombe. Every time it's headed away, the player who picks it up is an MK Dons player, and that's why the possession continues.
Martin again clips it forward looking for Nombe, but that one just a little bit. Yes, just a little bit overhit, and the youngster not even bothering to chase after that because it went through to Joe McDonnell. 32.5 minutes gone. Three Counties Sport on 104.5 FM. If you want Chris Milligan standing in for Mike Naylor, it's on all our other frequencies. Before Three Counties Sport, as usual, takes over at 2. We'll have reaction from this game, of course. And full commentary on Wycombe and also Stevenage. Wycombe at home to Lincoln, Stevenage at Cheltenham. And as I say, plenty of reaction from this game as well, as Wimbledon again almost threatened, but Lee Nichols quickly out to clear. 2-0 to MK Dons. Nombe and Healy with the goals, but it's the visitors in possession at the moment, with Ryan Delaney just over the halfway line, back to Terrell Thomas, who plays it across to Kalumbai. Now O'Neill, closed down by Lewington and Healy, and then Healy gets a foot in, concedes the throw to AFC Wimbledon just over the halfway line, right-hand side. Don't forget you can get your comments as well in afterwards. 81333 on the text. Start your message 3CR. You can tweet at BBC3CR. Jeff Doyle will be delighted to hear from Dons fans, I'm sure, in the first hour of the programme before the 3 o'clock games get underway. So far, so good for Paul Tisdale's side, who lead here by 2-0 on 104.5 FM. Also Don's I Follow. Forward for Piggott by AFC Wimbledon, headed away by Joe Walsh, and then O'Neill bundles into Dean Lewington, and it's a free kick to Milton Keynes Dons. Played short by Lewington to Kasumu. Now Walsh across to Martin forward to George Williams, just up towards the halfway line to McGrandles, inside to Houghton back to the youngster Kasumu. He plays it back to Martin, who must feel old in this team, as will Lewington, having the likes of Kasumu and Nombe running around ahead of him. He plays it forward towards Nombe again, but again overhits it, Russell Martin, and apologises to those ahead of him as it bounces through to Joe McDonnell in the AFC Wimbledon goal. MK Dons 2, AFC Wimbledon 0, with 10 minutes to go until half-time here at Stadium MK. Overcast afternoon in MK, but some bright and sunny stuff on the pitch. Here is Riley now coming forward towards Appiah on the edge of the box, and Kasumu eventually gets the ball away. It was a slip by George Williams. That's a back from AFC Wimbledon in towards Riley. Riley plays the ball back, looking for Guinness Walker, but that's straight out of play. Sloppy stuff from the visitors, as it has been actually for most of the game, and MK Dons, despite not being at their absolute best by any stretch of the imagination, have had more than enough to take advantage.
Yeah, I suppose you've got to take each game as it comes, and this is an important game for them to get something from, but I just wonder how successful they'd be with this kind of play against some of the better sides.
Yeah, somebody might pick them off a bit more maybe, but well, as you say, they can only be what's in front of them. McGrandles forward towards George Williams, covering across his Delaney to put the ball out of play. Don's throw level with the edge of the Wimbledon penalty area. Don's playing right to left as we sit here on this main stand side, if you like, of Stadium MK. Or Don's commentary next Saturday as they make the long trip up to Blackpool in the game against Ipswich here. Liverpool, of course, on the horizon in the League Cup. You can hear all these matches with us here on BBC Three Counties Radio. MK Dons throw over on the far side once the ball boys retrieved the ball from an unused part of Stadium MK over on that far side. Throw back to Russell Martin, and Martin has to play it all the way back, in fact, to Lee Nichols, and the opportunity to get the ball into the box is not taken, and they'll build again from inside their own half with Russell Martin. Across to George Williams, back again to Russell Martin, first time ball forward, looped forward towards Houghton and Healy, headed away. George Williams now challenging, Kasumu takes over, the youngster plays it back to Williams, but straight out of play, and MK Dons just sort of falling into the trap of Wimbledon's poor play and reducing themselves to their level at times, almost because it's too easy.
This game, I think, is all about the result, so I'm not sure that there'll be too much focus on the way MK Dons are playing, no. But I mean, it's not a good game, really. There's a lot of poor passing, and here come Wimbledon again. Appiah, now Kalambai to O'Neill down the right-hand side. Back again to Kalambai. First time cross from him, takes a deflection. Appiah with a header straight at Nichols. Oh, a yard either side and he'd score. Appiah, free header, and he's headed it straight at Nichols on the line. From about, 6 yards out, Kawisi Appiah. Got to be a goal.
He's a yard either side, he scores, and they're back in it. But he didn't. The deflection helped him, didn't it? The yes. Delivery from Kalambayu, and the deflection helped him because it just looped up a little bit more, allowed him that free header, and it was almost like he was heading back to the goalkeeper. Very, very poor from Appiah, and AFC Wimbledon should have a goal back. Well, that's their best chance, isn't it? Absolutely. Piggott's been a header from further out. He just made the most of, and his volley as well. But Appiah should score there. But, still 2-0 with 7 minutes to go until half-time. Now Kasumu with space inside the centre circle. Plays it across to Houghton to McGrandles, well, George Williams can't keep it in. Williams is furious with that sloppy pass from McGrandles. Yeah. Throw to AFC Wimbledon.
Been a lot of sloppy passes. Sloppy passes.
Williams heads it forward again now towards Healy. Defender just got a foot in, and Callum Bay will bring it away for AFC up towards the halfway line. Clips it forward for Wagstaff to go chasing after. Walsh is back there. Walsh thinks about the pass back to Nichols, but puts it out of play.
I think he probably saw Piggott in blue just on his left shoulder there and thought, no, not on this occasion.
Yeah, safety first from Walsh. Wimbledon have taken the throw.
Great.
O'Neill trying to get away down the right-hand side. Good tackle to stop him in his tracks by Alex Gilby. O'Neill to take the throw again into Wagstaff. Back again towards O'Neill from Wagstaff, but sails over his head. That's poor stuff. But it wasn't a great throw from O'Neill to Wagstaff in the first place. And it's the Don's throw now, which Lewington takes back to Walsh. Walsh drives it forward towards Healy. Healy trying to flick it on, but he's backed into Delaney there.
Quite
no attempt to play the ball, Reece Healy, and that'll be a free kick quickly taken by AFC Wimbledon. 6 minutes to go until half-time. They give it away. Here's Houghton. Houghton back inside to Kasumu. Kasumu, little touch for Joe Walsh. Walsh forward towards Gilby. Gilby across to Russell Martin. MK Dons 2, Wimbledon 0. Nombe and Healy with the goals for Paul Tisdale's side. Walsh down the line trying to get Houghton in behind. Can he just keep it in? Houghton, he can, but Callum Bay will bring the ball away. In fact, it has gone out. The linesman, who's about 50 yards away, decides it has crossed the line, and it will be a goal kick which McDonnell will take.
There's plenty of good things to talk about, but there are plenty of things that are wrong with the way MK Dons are playing, and I know that's a ridiculous thing to say, and maybe we should, and not, on a day like this when they're playing their rivals, forget that the way they're playing. But actually, there are a lot of glaring problems with MK Dons at the moment, Simon. Do you know what I mean? The way that they're passing, some of the movement, positionally, I'm not sure that everyone knows what they're doing. But anyway, they're winning.
Forward now for Guinness Walker with a bit of space down the left-hand side for Wimbledon. Still Guinness Walker, held up by Williams. Guinness Walker trying to make room for the cross. Now gets his cross in, blocked by George Williams. Guinness Walker plays it back towards Riley and handles in the process the number 18, Nesta Guinness Walker, and the opportunity again for Wimbledon to get the ball into the box is lost. Good perseverance there from George Williams, in fairness. 5 minutes to go until half-time, 2-0. Russell Martin to Joe Walsh. Now Lewington back inside to Joe Walsh, again building from the back. Patient stuff, which about 15 minutes ago was rewarded with that goal from Healy. Must have been 30 plus passes before Healy found room on the edge of the penalty area to fire a right-footed shot into the corner of the Wimbledon net. Walsh clips it forward, looking for Nombe once again. Nombe giving a chase, stretching that AFC Wimbledon defence, but muscled off the ball this time by Terrell Thomas, who finds Wagstaff. Wagstaff surrounded by white shirts, and then the referee gets in the way and realises, I think, Ben Toner, that he has got in the way and put Wimbledon under pressure, so he's going to restart with a drop ball and just give it back to Wimbledon, basically, because they were coming forward with it. He got in the way and it was going to benefit the home side. So Wimbledon have it back again inside their own half. O'Neill dispossessed by Lewington. Lewington back to Walsh. Walsh looks up, nothing much ahead of him. He needs a run from Nombe. Nombe's after it now, but it's taken a deflection off a Wimbledon player and out for a Don's throw.
The whole trying to get Nombe in, trying to get Nombe around the back, great, and they've got a goal from it, and they've been causing trouble. But Wimbledon have worked that out. This is different.
Yes.
Change it round a little bit. They've worked that out, and they're stopping it happening. So do something different. Adapt during the game.
I want to see more down the flanks, if I'm honest. Joe Walsh is sort of rampaging forward with Lewington. He's not going to get in behind. I thought they'd come a bit more down the right-hand side with McGrandles, but not as yet. Here's Healy, back inside to Kasumu. Kasumu squares it across to Houghton. Now he finds McGrandles down that right-hand side. McGrandles brings it under control. Flicks it forward for Houghton. Houghton back to George Williams. First time cross from Williams towards Nombe, who jumps high, flicks it on towards Healy. Half cleared by Wimbledon. Healy then bundled over on the edge of the penalty area by Callum Bay. To just throw him out of the way. Referee's not interested. Callum Bay's then given it away to Lewington. Back to Healy, back to Lewington. Lewington digs out the cross, which is cleared by Thomas, and it'll be a Wimbledon throw on this left-hand side.
You know what, Simon? I think Healy was fouled, but at the end he kind of threw himself over, and I think that's why the referee decided not
it was
so sure.
It was a clumsy sort of challenge. Lewington with the throw. 2 minutes to go, plus whatever time Mr. Toner adds on. Lewington throws it back to Russell Martin. Martin plays it across to George Williams. Williams inside the centre circle, across to McGrandles. McGrandles back inside to Russell Martin. Now Joe Walsh, again just keeping possession, allowing Wimbledon to do the chasing. Don's 2 up here as we approach added time at Stadium MK. Nombe and Healy with the goals. Jordan Houghton back to Russell Martin. Although Wimbledon have had some chances, particularly that one for Appiah. Really should have made it 2-1, puts them back in the game. And they can have a reorganised half-time and probably a few choice words from Wally Downs, I would think, but it's still 2-0. George Williams clips it forward towards Nombe once again. Nombe heading it down, but Gilby was just a little bit too far behind. Gets up well, doesn't he, Sam Nombe? But somebody's got to be pushing forward, ready for that knockdown, and Gilby hadn't quite gone far enough forward. Now Russell Martin. Martin across to Houghton. Houghton just over the halfway line. Still Houghton. Houghton then clips it forward towards Nombe. Delaney gets ahead to it and has to put it out of play for the corner.
Yeah, that was a little bit better.
Well, everything's revolving around him, isn't it, Sam Nombe?
Yeah.
He might only be 20 and sort of put into the team, but he's the focal point of the afternoon.
And he looks comfortable with it.
He does, yeah, he does. Yeah, doesn't look out of place doing it, does he? Lewington's come across to help out with the corner taking duties once again. Houghton is there as well.
But you need 2 people to take the corner side.
Clearly. Right hand side for MK Dons. Just seconds away from added time. There'll just be a minute of it. Lewington takes it in towards the near post, headed away, comes out to McGrandles. McGrandles back over the top. Just a minute of added time. Wimbledon clear, comes back out to McGrandles again. McGrandles goes back to Kasumu, and Kasumu will go all the way back to Lee Nichols. But everybody was forward there, just getting back into the box, but they didn't.
You're right about Sam Nombe. Goodness me, I thought George Williams was a good jumper. But Sam Nombe's a really good leaper. He gets above those players, and they're a little bit bigger than him.
Here's Russell Martin. Drills it across for Gilby. Gilby plays it back to Joe Walsh. A minute of added time. That's all we'll have for half-time here at Stadium MK, and MK Dons in control of this one, 2-0 up, almost too comfortable for their own good at times, because there have been a couple of half chances for Wimbledon. Thomas now bringing it under control on the edge of his own penalty area, back to keeper McDonnell, and once he clears upfield, that'll be just about it, I think. McDonnell's clearance towards Appiah, headed away by Walsh. O'Neill will just allow it to roll out of play. There'll be time to take the throw, and then I think Mr. Toner, well, in fact, there isn't time to take the throw because referee Toner blows for half-time, and that's pretty comfortable first half in many regards for MK Dons, and yet Wimbledon will be thinking 8 minutes from half-time, if Appiah heads that anywhere else other than straight at Lee Nichols, then we're back in this game. But possession-wise, that must be 70-30, at least 80-20 probably.
Yeah, absolute possession-wise, incredible stats, I'd imagine. Tisdale's front men have scored this afternoon, which will please him. There is going to be a substitution though. Let's have a look. Double substitution. So I'll get to that in a moment, but we're just about to get underway. Double substitution for the visitors. So Terrell Thomas is off. I know that much.
Yeah, they've taken off Terrell Thomas and Scott Wagstaff, and they're bringing on Healy, who's the striker from Watford. He's on loan from Watford, and Max Sanders, who's joined them this week on loan from Brighton. Looks as though they've moved Will Nightingale back into the middle of that back three. They're sticking with a back three by the looks of it, but they put Nightingale in there in place of Terrell Thomas, who was getting, well, as we said in the first half, getting pulled left, right and centre by that man Sam Nombe.
Here we are then underway. Both sets of players kicking towards their own fans in this second half. MK Dons lead by 2-0. Little ball inside to Appiah. Good start at this second half for AFC Wimbledon. Lewington almost gave the ball away, but it falls to Houghton, and then Kasumu will just play the ball upfield, and Piggott's going to be no, he's not going to be spoken to, but the referee has given a free kick for the shove from Piggott on Kasumu. Then it will be a free kick to MK Dons 30 seconds into this game. So the Dons line up with Lee Nichols in goal. It's a back three of Williams, Martin and Walsh. McGrandles, Houghton, Lewington, and then Kasumu, Gilby, with Nombe and Healy in front. And here's Nombe again. Nombe's already got a goal. He's inside the area on this near side, keeps it in play. Maybe his first touch wasn't brilliant, Sam Nombe, just to push it forward, and then he's lost the ball, but it has gone out for a corner. So Nombe again causing problems at the start of this second half.
Yeah, he did as much as he could there. He was forced out wide and just managed to get a corner out of it, and that was as good as it was going to get. And he's done the job again, just pulling that defence wide. They've changed it round at the back, stuck Nightingale back into that back three, and still Nombe causes them problems.
Corner then, Houghton and Lewington over this. Lewington short to Houghton. Inside towards Healy, near post. Healy, shot coming in from Gilby, and that's quite a well-worked set piece, isn't it?
It is. Alex Gilby's annoyed as well that he's not hit the target from there. It's a really well-worked set piece. It was just sort of clipped in rather lazily again by Houghton, but Reece Healy held it up. Gilby's there in support. I think he'd be disappointed not to hit the target there, because everything worked in the move. All the passes came off, and Gilby had room as well, and he'd probably he will be annoyed not to have at least tested the keeper there.
Kasumu picks the ball up from Piggott's header, long ball forward. Nombe trying to chase after this. Nightingale, who maybe just has a little bit more pace than those at the back, Terrell Thomas, etc., and it's smashed forward. Header away by Dean Lewington, picked up in the middle of the park by Jordan Houghton. Houghton's feet are pretty awful, and it falls to Piggott. Piggott forward, rolling it through towards Appiah. Appiah with an opportunity. Good challenge from Russell Martin. Got low, timed it well, it's gone behind for a corner.
Great tackle that from Russell Martin, because they played it through nicely there. They've got 3 up front now, AFC Wimbledon. Appiah, good opportunity, good tackle.
Delivery into the area, into the arms of Lee Nichols, and almost, I mean, when you hear the expression take it off the head of a player, that's exactly what Lee Nichols did.
There's Delaney who got up from the corner but sort of looped his header goalwards. It was a relatively straightforward catch for Nichols. Yeah, they've gone 3 up top now. They're playing Appiah down the centre with Healy and Piggott either side. They'll move it around those 3. Sanders, who's on loan from Brighton, is going to sit into that midfield area.
Nombe got the beating of Delaney. Just flicked it over his shoulder and then slipped over as he tried to turn. Long ball forward. Healy got hold of... the referee's going to give it. George Williams nearly had his shirt ripped off him by Healy. And the referee has seen that and given the free kick. And Martin will step forward to take this. Right-footed ball forward. Nombe going to get in here. He's got big problems, Delaney, with Nombe, hasn't he?
Well, there's 3 of them there, and just Nombe, because Healy's slightly off the pace there. He's not really up in support of Nombe. He's dropped back a little bit. So Nombe's got 3 of them to take on, and he keeps winning corners because they don't know what to do with him.
Delaney, I mean, Nombe has so much more pace than Delaney. Corner on this near side. MK Dons lead by 2-0. Healy and Nombe with the goals here against AFC. Houghton delivers the ball towards Russell Martin. It's cleared upfield. The set pieces most of the time today have been poor. Kasumu just tidying up, rolls it all the way back to Lee Nichols, especially Jordan Houghton's delivery.
Well, apart from that one which Gilby
just divided
to say, yeah, that's the only one that's really worked. The rest of the time they're sort of just
giving the ball away.
With
it's
more hope than expectations.
Not good enough. Nombe jumps into Delaney, and this time fouls Delaney, but quite nice to see a youngster
just want to say that,
quite willing to do that as well.
No problem with that. Give the centre half something to think about. Delaney's been around the lower divisions. He's come on loan from Rochdale, but Nombe's not afraid to just, send him onto his backside. No problem with that at all.
So good to see. So good to see. And it's those parts of the game that you've got to learn as well. And he clearly has been learning them. Kasumu, lovely take from Kasumu, and then was fouled. Was he giving it against?
Yeah, he has. Piggott tried to win it back and he just put his foot in, I think, Kasumu. Arguably, he was fouled initially. He intercepted and then just dwelt too long on the ball, and Piggott just nipped it off him, and then he just left his foot in there, the youngster. So it's a free kick to Wimbledon. What? 10, 15 yards out. I think Piggott's going to have a go.
Kasumu's great on the ball, good with his feet, but he's got to learn to release the ball quicker and know when to do what he's got to do. It's decision making. Anyway, it's a free kick to AFC Wimbledon. 50 minutes played here at Stadium MK. They're trailing to MK Dons, their rivals, by 2-0. O'Neill is the player over this, the number 2. O'Neill, right-footed, I think he tried to go through the wall, and that wasn't going to happen. It was a 4-man wall. Gilby chases this one down as it's played forward by Guinness Walker. Felivi on the near side, trying to get the ball over, but can't. McGrandles is there, and it's gone out of play. Is it a corner? Yes, it is a corner.
No, it's a throw. The referee signalled a throw, but they tried a corner, but it is a throw.
Yeah, Felivi trying to get past Healy. Healy keeps it in play. No, this time it has gone out of play and will be a corner.
That was a really poor free kick, wasn't it, from O'Neill? He left a lot of space, Lee Nichols, away to his right-hand side, but it never showed any likelihood of getting over the wall, and he wasn't low enough to go under. Sometimes they try and go under, anticipate the jump, but it was just poor,
wasn't it? Yeah. Corner across. Punch away by Lee Nichols, who I think was fouled in the process, and he was fouled, and the referee will give it.
Yeah, just caught by a pyre, I think, as he punched the ball away, Lee Nichols. A pyre sort of jumping in, followed through, and just caught the goalkeeper.
I can almost see what Wally Downs has said. He said, you may be losing 2-0, but snap into the challenges, start getting a little bit more aggressive, because that's what they've been doing at the start of this second half. They're starting to just compete.
Well, they've got much more of a threat up front now with the 3 there.
Yeah.
There's not going to be as much time for the Dons players to pass it around as they did in the first half, you would think.
Up towards Sam Nombe, but cleared by Nightingale. Lewington onto Gilby. Gilby gets it forward. Healy chasing after this one. Nightingale gets it away. Gilby gets the second ball. Nightingale will clear. Callum Riley's there, and it's picked up by Saunders. Saunders gets it out to O'Neill on that far side. Has it come off O'Neill? No, it hasn't. It's come off an MK Dons player, but good defending. Both sides competing. The Dons leading by 2-0. A reminder later on, Cheltenham versus Stevenage, and Wickham against Lincoln. Jeff Doyle picking up at 2 o'clock, and during that hour in the build-up, you'll hear from Paul Tisdale and one of the players here. You'll get reaction. I'm obviously hoping it was going to be Sam Nombe today. Find out what he's got to say for himself. Here come the visitors. Nesta Guinness Walker on this near side. Out of play it goes though from Conor McGrandles. Delaney gets it back. Saunders to Guinness Walker. Cleared by Kasumu, out of play. Throw into MK Dons. Does that come off? Yes, it came off a Wimbledon player, and it will be a throw to MK Dons.
It's more from Wimbledon in this half, as you say, looking snappier, sharper. Clearly, one would assume had a rocket at half time.
Nombe. Delaney tries to get it forward, away by Gilby. Delaney can't keep it in play, and it will be a throw midway inside the the AFC Wimbledon half that Conor McGrandles will take. Healy back to McGrandles. McGrandles stays on his feet. Still McGrandles. Healy tries to Houghton tries to flick it on for Healy. That ball just about coming towards us. Hits one of the press benches and bounces off. And it will be a throw to MK Dons. Level with the penalty area. Leading by 2-0. Home fans in good voice, as they should be. Here's Williams, back to McGrandles. McGrandles on this near side. Back to Williams. Williams needs to... Oh, does well, George Williams. Still Williams. Williams on. Houghton drills it low across. Goalkeeper's there. Callum gets it away. Goodness, great feet from George Williams and really good stuff. And the drilled ball across was from Jordan Houghton. And Houghton then fouls Appiah, and it will be a free kick to Wimbledon.
Yeah, nearly broke for them there. It was a decent cross driven across, and McDonald couldn't hold it. But when he spilled it, it was cleared by Wimbledon defender rather than falling at the feet of anyone in white.
Houghton hurt himself in that challenge with Appiah, you know.
Yeah,
and it was interesting then. Paul Tisdale just said to Sam Nombe wasn't 100% sure, and he just said, "You go back into Houghton's position. That's what I want you to do. Go back." And Jordan Houghton getting some treatment from Simon Crampton at the moment. Doesn't look too comfortable, I have to say.
No, it's his knee, I think. Whether he just sort of jarred it in making the challenge, the unfair challenge on Appiah. But Wimbledon certainly more threatening going forward in this half, and I'm sure MK Dons would have expected that at the start of the second period. They would have expected a response, particularly with 2 changes for the visitors at the start of the second half. But they still look as though they can be pulled around at the back, and the visitors.
And I wonder if Brennan Dickinson will come on. Of course, he's played for AFC Wimbledon. The only player, of course, who's played for both.
I guess it depends who scores the next goal.
Yeah.
I think if it goes 2-1, you might stick Boateng on just to try and tighten it up in midfield. If it goes 3-0, you perhaps stick Bowery and Agard on just to stretch the defence.
I'm just thinking, Lewington,
in fact, if it goes 3-0, he probably won't make any changes.
Lewington played midweek, and he's not getting any younger, is Louis. That's Brennan Dickinson's position, really. So I just wonder whether we'll see that today. Anyway. I think when you're looking at Dean Lewington and Brendan Dickinson, you're looking at transition there.
Yes.
Over a period of time. We're talking Dean Lewington won't be playing in that position and Brendan will. Let's be honest. That's why he's been brought
to happen at some time.
And I think Paul Tisdale is the man that's going to have to start that transition if he stays at the club, of course. Three Counties Sport. I'm not suggesting that he wouldn't, by the way, but this is football. We know this business. Here's Houghton. Houghton lops it over the top for Sam Nombe. Nombe against Delaney. Nombe strong again, getting in front of him, and Delaney fouls him. And Delaney, well, I think by the end of today, Delaney will be glad to see the back of Sam Nombe.
Well, he got in front of him. He just invited the challenge. There's a little touch there from Delaney. Nombe goes down. Delaney so frustrated he's kicked the ball into the upper tier because he's so cheesed off. But they're just playing it forward. They know Nombe will chase. They know Nombe will hold it up. And that's what we were talking about in the first half, that Wimbledon didn't have. Nobody was holding it up when they played it forward. They're defending the 2-0. And now we're looking to pick them off from a set piece, maybe.
Lewington and Houghton over this. I was just watching the manager as well while all that was going on, and Guinness Walker closes that one down. Set pieces have been absolutely atrocious today. Houghton trying to pick the ball up from Dean Lewington's flick. Guinness Walker. It's gone out of play, and it will be what a waste, Simon.
Utter waste of a free kick again. There's one set piece which has worked, which was the one clipped in. They played it short, clipped it in, Gilby shot into the side netting. But that one, I'm not quite sure what happened. They're just getting in each other's way, Lewington and Houghton. One of you take it, get it in the box.
I was just going to say, here's something way out there. Actually cross the ball into the penalty area from a free kick. Just do it. Crazy idea, it might just work. Long ball forward from McGrandles. Nombe chasing after this one. They're doing well to get these free kicks and corners, and then just nothing comes from
Nombe's working his socks off to win these free kicks and corners, as you say. And then Houghton and Lewington, I don't know what's going on there.
Here's Healy from McGrandles' throw. McGrandles gets it back, looks to go past his man Guinness Walker, plays it infield to Houghton. Houghton just holding off his man. Poor pass from Houghton. Don't think he's had a good game, Jordan Houghton. Houghton trying to get the ball now. Prove me wrong, Jordan. And it's gone out of play. Too many passes gone astray from Jordan Houghton this afternoon. But anyway, we're picking the bones out of a game that maybe at the moment doesn't need the bones picking out, because they're winning 2-0 and an hour's gone.
Yeah, and they've sort of weathered the storm, haven't they? The early storm you would expect at the start of the second half from a side 2-0 down away from home, who make 2 changes.
What I will say, free kick, foul on Levy, and the referee's just going to have a little talking to, is it Conor McGrandles?
Kasumu, I think.
Kasumu, was it? What I will not do is paper over cracks, and MK Dons are leading 2-0 against a poor Wimbledon side who haven't won this season, have 2 points in the division, and there are things that are wrong with MK Dons' game. But look, it's great, they're winning 2-0 and they deserve to be winning 2-0. I'm not taking that away from them. I think what we're doing is looking at where they can be better, and they could be a lot better in certain areas. Anyway, free kick to the visitors. Hour gone here at Stadium MK. Delivery's going to come from O'Neill. Good delivery as well. Lee Nichols comes across. Shot going goalwards. Nichols saves. That looked to be a super save from Lee Nichols after he had already gone down from the initial delivery. It looked to be a good save.
Yeah, I think it was Kalambai at the far post.
Here's O'Neill. O'Neill delivers the ball across. Delaney's there, heads in the air. Piggott just tries to get it goalward. Shot low on the edge of the 6-yard box. His hands go to his face, and Apaya has smashed one over the bar.
Well, that should be 2-1 again. He's missed another one there, Apaya. I mean, initially the ball was played in from the free kick, and Lee Nichols sort of punched it away. It was hooked back goalwards by Kalambai, and it was a really good save from Lee Nichols, but then they worked it back into the box. It's come to Apaya, and he smashed it over the bar. Has to score, at least hit the target from there, Koisi Apaya. That's a worse miss than the header, I think. They've had getting chances.
They have had their chances. Nichols, forward it goes towards Nombe, who even wins headers when he's on one knee.
Yeah, won the free kick incredible. Again. Nightingale forced to foul him.
Free kick's been taken too quickly. This might end up being known the Nombe derby, because I think most people remember Sam Nombe bursting onto the scene. Everyone's been aware of Sam for a number of years and his potential, but maybe it's come to fruition here. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's like I said, he's arrived. It feels like he's arrived today. Anyway, here's McGrandles to Gilby. Oh, it's clever from Alex Gilby. Gilby tries to get it across to the right hand side. That's good work from Alex Gilby. Still, to me, not 100% the number 8 as far as fitness, and still got a bit to go to be the player that we know he can be, but did well there.
Tisdale has just said to Lewington, you take it, get it in there. It's be interesting to see if that's what happens. Dean Lewington was walking across to take this corner. Tisdale had right shout at him, said just get it in there.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he's going to do.
See, that's much better. Near post, causes problems. I mean, it's not difficult, is it?
Yeah, they won a throw over on the far side. No, absolutely
better.
Could see as Jordan Houghton had gone across, Lewington was going across. Paul Tisdale shouted to him, point at him, you get it in.
And that's exactly what happened and caused a problem near post. With a little bit more height, that would have been even more dangerous. Anyway, it's gone out for a throw on the far side. We don't say these things because we want to moan. It's just obvious sometimes what needs to happen. Piggott smashes the ball over the back of his shoulder away. McGrandles gets it back in. Nombi's in an offside position. It doesn't matter anymore. That's come off an AFC Wimbledon player. The player was Kalambai, but the referee's given a free kick against Joe Walsh, and it will be a free kick for the visitors inside their own half. 2-0 here then. Both goals coming in the first half in this game on 10 and 25 minutes. Sam Nombe, great finish when he was put through. He had to fight off a defender, and a great finish, really good goal from Sam Nombe. And then Rhys Healy, a very patient build-up from MK Dons, probably 25 to 30 passes, ended up with Rhys Healy on the edge of the area, right foot shot, low finish, and really patient build-up and good goal. But the visitors, AFC Wimbledon, have had chances. Here's Nightingale for the men in blue. Forward it goes. picked up by Kasumu, who'll just knock it forward. The goalkeeper, McDonald's, he's standing on the edge of his penalty area, just being a bit of a sweeper keeper, making sure that those long balls can't affect the team too much. Got to be wary of that. Sam Nombe has been such a threat today. And Saunders will play the ball over to the far side, and Callum Bay. But Callum Bay goes back to Nightingale. Riley to Delaney. Delaney, left-hand side, chips a ball forward. That's poor from Delaney. Clearance was easy from Williams. Healy's there, gets it on towards Nombe. Oh, Nombe's turn was pretty sharp, but this time Guinness Walker steps back, saw the danger.
He's playing one up, really, isn't he, Nombe? Because Healy's sort of dropping back quite a bit. Yeah. But he's doing it. He's quite capable of doing it.
Callum Bay on the far side, slots the ball forward. Comes back to Saunders. Saunders, forward it goes, but Lewington's there. Callum Bay can't get hold of the ball, and good defending from MK Dons. Saunders, the second half substitute, just trying to work his way past Alex Gilby, and Gilby wins the ball, and they're getting the rub of the green as well. MK Dons. Gilby does well, nicks it off the player, and on that far side Saunders, and it's out of play for a throw to MK Dons that Lewington will take. Mel Gwinnett and Paul Tisdale deep in conversation. Not sure it'll change too much at the moment. 2-0 up, they are in control. I mean, there may come a time Sam Nombe might run out of steam.
I was just going to say Nombe maybe will need a break.
That, can't you? You know, I'd imagine he'll probably want him to come off and get the applause, although I'm not sure Tisdale really works like that. He doesn't think about things like that. He's not wired that way, you know, but homegrown player, the fans will love the fact that Sam Nombe is thrusting himself forward. But this, compared to the game that I watched here a few years back, where John Otsemabor got that winner late on.
Yeah, 20,000 and FA Cup and all that.
The atmosphere.
It's hugely
2012 December. The atmosphere is slightly different these days, isn't it? It's really toned down a little bit. Well, I mean, due to the fact that I think most AFC Wimbledon fans have kind of said, I'm just not going to bother. And frankly, that's not much to do with MK Dons. It's more to do with the fact that they're playing so badly. Nombe tussling with Nightingale, goal kick. More to do with the fact that they've got 2 points in the first. Yeah. He goes, I'm sure.
Look as though they're going to struggle, doesn't it?
Terrible form.
It's just a lull in the game as well. They've had that little burst at the start of the half. They can't. The front three look dangerous, apart from, well, Pyre's missed 2 really good opportunities, hasn't he? But they can't get it forward to them. They can't. You know, they're not working anything forward for Pigott or for Levy.
I was just thinking about the set pieces. Wimbledon have conceded 5 goals from corners in League One this season. They might do well here, though. Levy tries to get it across. That's 2 more than any other side, and MK Dons haven't troubled them. Delivery across it goes. Nichols is there and will collect.
A good save again from Nichols a moment ago from Falevi. It was a tight angle. Apaya sort of threaded it through to Falevi, and Lee Nichols just had some work to do. That's a couple of saves from him as well. We talk about the misses that Apaya has made, but Lee Nichols has made a couple of saves as well.
Yeah, certainly needed to be in the right place for a couple of the efforts. Nombe chasing after this. Delaney will raise his eyebrows again and says, oh, not him again. And Delaney gets it down the line. I'd imagine he'll be delighted if the manager puts up his number to come off.
Well, again, Nombe's forced to throw.
Here's McGrandles to Houghton. Houghton cross it, away it goes. Here's Lewington. Lewington forward. Houghton's going to chase this one down. And we're pretty much midway through the second half here at Stadium MK. So far, so good. MK Dons leading by 2 goals to 0 against AFC Wimbledon, and Simon Oxley will take you through to full time.
Yes, thank you, Luke. 2-0 as it was at half time, as it has been since the 25th minute. Dons just happy to sort of soak up whatever Wimbledon have to offer in this second half and try and get a few half chances, 1 or 2 things from set pieces maybe. That's a sloppy play from Joe Walsh over on that far side as the ball runs out of play. Again, They're not needing to be at full pelt, MK Dons, by any stretch of the imagination. Wimbledon not looking a good side, although they have had opportunities. 104.5 FM, Three Counties Sport, live across Milton Keynes, live around the world on Don's I Follow. Very good afternoon to you wherever you're listening around the world. Chris Milligan standing in for Mike Naylor on all our other frequencies, and then Three Counties Sport from 2 with reaction from this game. Full commentary on matches for Wycombe and for Stevenage. No Watford or Luton, of course, this Saturday afternoon because of the international break. 2-0 to MK Dons here. We've played 69 minutes at Stadium MK. Wimbledon in possession. Kalambai back to Sanders, one of the two subs at half time. Gets the cross in towards Falevi. Lee Nichols out quickly to gather. It went over a pyre. Falevi was showing interest, the Watford loanee, but it goes through to Nichols, who clears now right-footed, and Rhys Healy's gone charging after this. It'll bounce through though to Joe McDonnell in the Wimbledon goal, who throws it out quickly for Ryan Delaney. Delaney closed down by Nombe. Plays it forward to Sanders. Back again to Delaney. MK Dons 2, Wimbledon 0. Nightingale now across to the right-hand side to Kalambai, who clips it forward right-footed towards a pyre, dealt with by Joe Walsh, who then volleys it forward. Nightingale brings it under control across to Kalambai. Back again to Nightingale. Nightingale now goes long, just clips it forward. Taken down on the chest there by O'Neill. Kept in over on the far side by a pyre. Back again to O'Neill. O'Neill tries to prod it forward towards Piggott. Taken on now by Sanders, who plays it out to Falevi. Falevi advancing towards the edge of the Dons penalty area. Still Falevi. Touches it past McGrandles. Goes again Falevi. And has he won the corner? He thinks he has, or he thinks it might be a penalty because he's played it against McGrandles, but it had already gone out of play. McGrandles had slid in. It appeared to hit his arm, but the referee had already given a goal kick, which Lee Nichols is going to take. 2-0 it remains, 20 minutes to go.
Bit flat, isn't it?
It is very flat, very flat. Thought the start of the second half it was going to pick up. The crowd got with it, got sort of stuck into it. It was looking a little bit more lively. Wimbledon look as though they were going to offer something, and they've not really offered much at all. And Dons have been happy just to soak it up as Sam Nombe gets just a knock in the head there, just a clash with Delaney, who just has caught the youngster in the back of the head there. So a little bit of treatment for Sam Nombe. With 8,627 is the attendance, just flashed up on the board. That's poor, isn't it? This is supposed to be the big grudge match derby, in inverted commas.
Well,
I know it's live on TV. It's 12 o'clock kick-off, but that helps as many as it inconveniences. I was fine, but I think that's a bit of a disappointing crowd. I think there's 1,000 probably from Wimbledon.
If
500 perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, 8,500. I suppose the TV has taken its toll there, maybe.
Well, it has, and I think a lot of people just they don't want to get caught up in any silliness, you know. But actually, there isn't any silliness.
No, there isn't. No, I thought there was a lot of police when I arrived. I thought, why?
Yeah.
Free kick to MK Dons. Houghton drives it forward to the edge of the box, flicked on and behind for a goal kick by Rhys Healy, who jumped highest on the edge of the penalty area but couldn't really direct his header anywhere, and it goes out of play.
I mean, so far this season, much better atmosphere against Lincoln.
Yeah, helped by a lot of visiting fans, no doubt. And but you bounce off that, don't you? And the rivalry between these two sides, it's not as big as the rivalry, say, between MK Dons and Peterborough. No,
it's not. It's just not. You know.
Here's Healy again on halfway. Gilby trying to break forward. Sanders gets a foot in. Now O'Neill plays it forward towards Piggott. Piggott, well, marshalled there by Russell Martin. Here's Houghton. Houghton bundled over by a pyre, and that'll be a free kick to MK Dons.
You know,
Dons there's no sign of a goal back really from Wimbledon at the moment. That chance for a pyre on the hour mark. Dons are taking the free kick forward towards Healy, who brings it under control, nicely curls in the shot straight at the goalkeeper.
A bit too calm, that, wasn't it? I mean, you know, he brought it down, he looked. Expected a bit more from Rhys Healy, if I'm honest with you.
That's real opportunity in open play, pretty much.
Brought it down really nicely, though, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Straight at the goalkeeper. 2-0 it remains. MK Dons 2, AFC Wimbledon 0 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Sanders plays it back to Delaney. Delaney will have to go all the way back to Joe McDonnell. All in green in the Wimbledon goal. Wimbledon all in blue. MK Dons all in white. Here's Kalambai trying to get the better of Nombe. Nombe sticks a foot in, breaks for Sanders. Sanders sprays it out to this left-hand side towards Guinness Walker, Don's clear. Houghton finds McGrandles. McGrandles sets off down the right-hand side. McGrandles in this sort of right wing-back role isn't quick enough for me. He's not going to get round the back at all. But he did produce that excellent ball for Nombe's opening goal, and now clips the ball forward down the right-hand side, but it goes straight out of play. He's not got the pace to play right wing-back.
No.
Perhaps a more central role, then he can play those balls through like he did for Nombe's opener on 9 minutes. Healy making it 2-0 on 25. Still 2-0 now, and we've got 15 minutes to go plus added time. McGrandles again, first time ball forward. Nombe after it. Nightingale gets there, plays it back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Nightingale's doing a lot better against
Yes,
Nombe,
he is,
isn't he?
yeah. When Nombe's up against Delaney, it's more interesting. Piggott now flicks the ball on towards Appiah. Appiah's brought it under control with his arm. He has had an awful game, Kwesi Appiah. He's missed 2 really good opportunities, well, particularly that one on the hour. Yeah. Blasted it over the bar, trying to break the net with it, and 2-1 there, and you think they're back in it. Well, they are, but would have been back in it.
I tell you what, 2-1, and this MK Dons side that haven't got masses of confidence, I think that would really affect them.
Not doing a test there, but there's been nothing to test them since then, as Falevi's penalised for a foul on Joe Walsh.
You know, that game later on looks good, doesn't it? Wickham against Lincoln.
Yeah.
Listen to that.
Yeah.
That's a cracking
2 sides up at the top end of the table. Having seen this game today, I'm surprised Wickham didn't see off Wimbledon last week, I must say, but there we are, 0-0 it ended. Martin clears upfield, headed away by Kalumbai.
Bit of a bogey team for Wickham, aren't they, Wimbledon?
Sumu knocked off the ball, and then O'Neill trying to bring it forward, concedes the throw. MK Dons are winning this at half pace at the moment, 15 minutes to go.
I think we're going to see here in Boateng, yes. Simon. I'm probably just to shore things up. I mean, I wonder whether or not he might take off Sam Nombe and just leave Rhys Healy up front by himself, or
here is Nombe though. Nombe taking on the Wimbledon defence once again. Nice little back heel for Houghton. Houghton forward to Healy, edge of the penalty area. Healy gets away from his marker. Still Healy inside the box, twisting and turning. Healy can't get the shot away. Lewington then clips it up to the back post. Gilby heads it down, and it ends up in the arms of the goalkeeper. Best move of the second half, really, as far as MK concerned. McDonald clears long, it sails out of play. Awful again from Wimbledon. Here comes Hiram Boateng.
Yeah, Boateng. I think maybe it will be Healy that comes off, and they'll just leave Nombe up front, just tighten up in the middle of the park. Or maybe Alex Gilby. Gilby could come off.
I think, looking at the board, number 8. Yeah, it's be a straight swap, I guess.
I think as a player, it's going to be a straight swap. I think as a player who's not 100% fit, I think he's running socks off. Another good bit of football from Alex Gilby. Not done anything spectacular, but he's certainly been part of it. I don't think we're seeing the best of Alex Gilby just yet, Simon, but Hiram Boateng comes on and replaces him like for like. He'll do a very similar job. And
I guess a pat on the back from Paul Tisdale is obviously pleased with what he's done, and Hiram Boateng will come on to replace him. First change for MK Dons. The other outfield subs: Jordan Bowery, Brendan Dickinson, Kieran Agard, Ryan Harley and Dylan Asunganye.
Gilby, one of the leaders in the dressing room. Very, very, very popular player, Alex Gilby.
Third and final change to be made by AFC Wimbledon in a moment. The new striker Marcus Fors, who's on loan from Brentford, is going to come on to replace Kwesi Appiah, whose misery is being ended.
Well, he could have had a hat-trick, so
well, Appiah makes way for Marcus Fors on loan from Brentford. And Appiah, I should just be pleased to be sitting down after, 2 good chances. One, that header before half-time, and the chance on the hour mark. But Wimbledon free kick towards Piggott. Here's Force, first touch for him. Cross comes in. It should be an easy one for Nichols, who just watches it go over the crossbar because it just drifted behind in the end from Nesta Guinness Walker.
He's been good today, hasn't he, Lee Nichols?
Yes, he has. Yeah,
he's commanded that goal. You've felt confident in what he's done. Positioning, he's been good. He's stopped the things that he's had to stop. The header, I think, was probably the best effort from AFC Wimbledon, but he's done what he's had to do, and he's done it well, and he's looked comfortable in goal.
12 minutes to go. MK Dons 2, AFC Wimbledon 0. Forward towards Force again, headed away by George Williams. Now Kasumu plays it forward, but that goes straight through to McDonald. McDonald then clears right-footed, drives it forward again towards Piggott. Piggott jumping with Martin. Martin heads it away. Comes to Guinness Walker, tackled by Boateng. And it'll be a throw for Wimbledon, who just have sparked back into life after that change again. Here's Sanders, one of the changes at half-time. Delaney across to Nightingale. Nightingale to Kalumbai. Kalumbai plays it forward to Luke O'Neill. That's a good covering from MK Dons, just forcing Wimbledon back into their own half. Now Max Sanders again. Sanders coming forward over the halfway line, out to the left-hand side to Guinness Walker. Now Delaney, patient stuff from the visitors. Guinness Walker again. Delaney coming forward, plays it forward towards Sanders. For Levy, again, good marking from MK Dons, good shape from Paul Tisdale's side, and forcing the error from Wimbledon, and Nightingale has to go back into his own half to retrieve it. Closed down by Nombe, and Nightingale has to play it all the way back to McDonald. Good work from MK Dons without the ball. Often hear managers go on about playing without the ball, and they did well there. And again, Kasumu clears the ball back upfield for Nombe, who's more or less running on empty now to try and chase after. Delaney heads it back to McDonald. And we've got a little over 10 minutes to go, and MK Dons comfortable at 2-0. Forward by Sanders for Fours to chase after. Fours will just keep it in by the corner flag. Left-hand side will eat. No, I think that's gone out of play. No, he's played it against Russell Martin and won the throw. So it'll be a throw to AFC Wimbledon. Guinness Walker to take it down by the corner flag.
Tell you what, goal now and we've got a game.
Well, they all of a sudden have just picked up the pace a little bit again, the visitors. Guinness Walker with the throw. Back to Sanders. Sanders tries to get the cross in. Good block from Jordan Houghton. Another throw for AFC Wimbledon, level with the edge of the MK penalty area. Into the edge of the penalty area now towards Riley. Riley back to Sanders. Sanders whips in the cross in towards the back post, too high for Marcus Force, and it goes out of play for MK Dons goal kick, which Lee Nichols will take. 10 minutes to go. Very quiet. I think MK Dons fans have realised that it's pretty much done and dusted. Wimbledon fans are just seeing it out, just sticking with it just in case. I think anyone watching on the TV at home, I think is probably going to make a cup of tea. Here's Healy, fouled by Delaney.
He's ever so good at that, is Rhys Healy. He's ever so good at touching the ball at the last minute, knowing he's not going to get it, but winning the free kick.
Yeah.
I mean, it just takes the pressure off, gives them an opportunity to go forward. And I mean, Rhys Healy has worked very, very hard. Sam Nombe has worked very, very hard, and I think they're going to get rewarded by a slightly early afternoon, because I think Jordan Bowery and Kieran Agard are looking
it looks like they both are going to come on to replace them, aren't they? Just to liven it up at the...
I think that's a great idea, because what you get is from set pieces.
But it keeps the defenders busy as well, so they're not coming forward with it, just allowing Wimbledon to set something up. Here's Nombe again. Flicked forward by McGrandles to Burting inside the box, but he can't get the cross in before it goes out of play. Fits and starts in this second half from MK Dons. They've concentrated more on keeping Wimbledon out than they have on building on the 2-0. He said before, hasn't he, 2-0's an awkward score at half-time, and they've decided to stick rather than twist, I think, for a lot of the time. Yeah. 8 minutes to go, 2-0 they lead. McDonald clears that field for Wimbledon, headed away by Joe Walsh. Comes to Boateng. Boateng just muscled off the ball by Sanders. Sanders plays it across to Guinness Walker. We're going to see Kieran Agard in a moment, and Jordan Bowery. Good tackle by McGrandles. Here's Houghton, then Houghton loses out. Wimbledon have it back again. Sanders back to Guinness Walker. Guinness Walker into Riley. Riley deep crossing towards the back post towards Forzu. Heads it down, back across goal and in. The substitute pulls one back for AFC Wimbledon. Marcus Force at the back post. Headed it down back beyond Lee Nichols, and it crept in at the back post. 8 minutes to go. Now then, game on. MK Dons 2, Wimbledon 1.
Well, it was a great delivery, but it was slack from MK Dons, and we are going to see Barry come on for Healy and Agard for Nombe, but Force getting that goal. I just wonder at the moment that happened, because they were lined up, whether Paul Tisdale would change anything and change the substitutions, but I'm not sure he's going to.
Well, Well, the changes being made, as Luke was saying and indeed predicted, Agard and Bowery coming on for Nombe and Healy, and it was almost as if we were just waiting for those substitutions to be made, and maybe they just switched off mentally a little bit, MK Dons. It was a great ball played in by Riley to the back post, and I thought Force was going to head it back across goal and hope somebody was there to tap it in, but in fact his header was so well directed it crept in at the back post.
Yeah, it was the direction of it, wasn't it? It didn't need that much power. It was so precise.
Well, work to do now for MK Dons, who are sitting pretty at 2-0, but now have some work to do, and Paul Tisdale just changing it up front there just to occupy the defenders a little bit more, because Nombe and Healy were running on empty. Now he's got Bowery and Agard in there. McGrandles for MK Dons, cutting inside up towards the edge of the penalty area. Conor McGrandles still going. McGrandles inviting the challenge, which came. No free kick. Wimbledon clear it early for Levy to chase after. Russell Martin is back there, will allow it to just roll out of play, and it'll be a throw to MK Dons. One of the Wimbledon players is still down injured on the edge of the penalty area. Looks like Sanders, who's picked up a knock. I think as he tried to tackle McGrandles. It was a good run from McGrandles to the edge of the box. He was sort of saying, come on then, tackle me, because I know it'll be a foul. And a couple of players closed in. It did look like a foul. The referee waved play on, but Sanders has taken a knock in making one of those challenges. And the Wimbledon physio, Stuart Douglas, once a Luton Town player, has come on to administer some treatment, and just a chance to regroup here for Wimbledon, just to think, right, we can get back in this, and for MK Dons to say, well, we really can't not pick up 3 points here. But again, we're into that question: do we stick or twist? He's in a bit of trouble, actually, Sanders. I'm not sure he'll be able to continue.
No, I mean, you know, when we were talking earlier on, and I was saying, you know, I don't want to be negative, but I don't want to paper over the cracks. Well, you've seen the cracks. The cracks are here for everyone to see. I'm not taking anything away from the 2 goals and how well they were scored and put together. I'm not taking anything away from that, but I think against a quality side this season, against quality sides this season, MK Dons will struggle and probably won't, on today's performance, won't be any higher than 10th. But that's just now. Everything can change, things can click, and they can be world beaters. But at the moment, they're not world beaters. They're mid-table League One, and they're, you know, making hard work of a game against a very poor side.
Well, Sanders is still receiving treatment on the edge of his own penalty area, so there's going to be 2 or 3 minutes of added time. He's picking himself up now, Max Sanders, the Brighton loanee, but there will be some more added time, and we've had those substitutions. A couple of them were, of course, at the start of the half, but the other one for Wimbledon wasn't, and with the changes as well for MK Dons. So there's going to be a fair bit of added time. Stuart Douglas just signalling, I think, to Wally Downs that Max Sanders, I think, will be okay to continue. He'll have to be, because they've used all 3 subs.
I don't think he is.
It's his left knee, I think, that is the problem. Yeah. Well, he might give it a go, see if he can run it off. At the moment, well, there's 3.5 minutes to go plus added time, but there'll be a fair amount of that now. MK Dons 2, Wimbledon 1. The visitors getting back into this with that goal from substitute Marcus Force with 8 minutes to go. Dons throw back inside their own half. McGrandles down the line towards Bowery. A bit of a push there by Bowery, and that'll be a free kick to AFC Wimbledon. Sanders is going to try and come back on. Sometimes you can do more harm than good coming back on, but he's hobbling back on. Sanders, and Wimbledon are going to take the free kick from just on halfway. And it's, well, Riley thought about it. He's going to leave it for McDonnell now to take, who's come racing out of his goal to clear this one. And he'll clear it in towards the edge of the MK Dons penalty area. McDonnell to take the free kick for Wimbledon. Drives it forward to the edge of the box. Nichols thought about coming. Ball still hanging in the air. Headed away by Lewington. Headed away by Bowery. Taken on now down that right-hand side by Force, the goal scorer. Drives in the cross, which is deflected behind by Kasumu. And it'll be a Wimbledon corner.
We should not be in this position where we're looking at MK Dons holding on for the last few minutes.
Riley to take the corner, right-hand side. He'll curl it in left-footed. Everybody back for MK Dons. Riley whips it in towards the near post. Good header away from Bowery. It'll go out for a throw over on the far side, will it? No, O'Neill keeps it in. O'Neill plays it across to Guinness Walker. Guinness Walker, time to clip it forward into the penalty area towards Piggott. Piggott trying to head it down. It's cleared. For Levy trying to keep it in on this near side. Good challenge on him by McGrandles, and then McGrandles was caught by Levy, and Dons will be able to clear their lines from the right edge of the penalty area. About 90 seconds to go, but I think 5 or 6 minutes of added time here at Stadium MK. 104.5 FM across Milton Keynes. Live around the world on Don's I Follow. Three Counties Sport coming up from 2. Reaction to this game, plus Wickham against Lincoln, Cheltenham against Stevenage. But this game by no means settled now. 2-1. Nichols clears upfield for MK Dons. Bowery trying to flick it on. Headed away by Nightingale. Hooked forward towards Piggott. Away by Martin. Forward again towards Piggott, who flicks it on. Cleared by Kasumu. Headed away by Cullenby. Forward by Sanders. Taken on by Houghton now. Bowery brings it under control nicely. Lays it off for Dean Lewington. Lewington plays it forward left-footed towards Berting over on the far side, who wins the throw off Cullenby. Throw to MK Dons, and we're waiting for the fourth official to let us know how much added time there'll be. MK Dons 2, AFC Wimbledon 1. Lewington with the throw on the halfway. Referee tells him to get on with it. His throw cleared back upfield by Nightingale. Trying to flick it on his force. Away by Jordan Houghton. Headed away by Nightingale. O'Neill hooks it forward for Wimbledon. Piggott chasing after it. Away by Walsh. Played forward again towards Force, but Dons play themselves out of trouble nicely. Houghton now forward to Berting, and the big man comes forward down the left-hand side with support from Lewington. Lewington back again towards Berting on the overlap. Berting cuts back inside, twisting and turning. Berting sits up the cross to the back post. 4 minutes of added time. That's generous, I think. Absolutely. But Guinness Walker, in trying to bring it away, has given it to Houghton. Houghton plays the cross into the near post, but straight to McDonnell. 4 minutes of added time. McDonnell clears upfield. Well, Sanders was down for 3. I think the referee's been generous there to MK Dons. Here's Piggott now. Piggott well tackled by McGrandles. Houghton plays it forward for Agard to chase after. Another poor pass from Houghton.
Houghton's been really poor today.
Through to McDonnell. McDonnell waves everybody forward. Into added time at Stadium MK. McDonnell clears right-footed over the halfway line towards Force. Headed away by Russell Martin to Bowery. Bowery overruns it, and Cullenby picks it up. Now O'Neill for Wimbledon. O'Neill clips it forward towards Levy. Header away is by McGrandles, but it will bounce out of play for a Wimbledon throw down by the corner flag. Left-hand side for Levy. Leaves it for Guinness Walker to take. Guinness Walker, left-hand side, goes back to the hoardings. He's winding up for a long throw. Here he comes. Hurls it into the Dons penalty area. Headed down by George Williams. Away by Berting. Back out to Guinness Walker. Guinness Walker tackled by McGrandles. Good tackle, but at the expense of a corner. And O'Neill comes across to take it for Wimbledon. Pushing forward, looking for the equaliser in added time, AFC Wimbledon. We've had a minute and a half of the 4. Here's the corner. O'Neill takes it in towards the back post. Headed down by Cullenby and just wide. Nichols didn't know whether to come. Stood and watched, and Cullenby heads it down and wide. What a chance.
Inches wide. Inches wide, that was. Great view from it here. Decent header down. Inches wide.
Well, Lee Nichols just stood and watched. And Cullenby got up highest and headed it down, and it just bounced wide. A let-off for MK Dons. 2 minutes of added time played. They lead 2-1. Lee Nichols clears right-footed. Over the halfway line it goes. Bowery flicks it on, but straight to Cullenby, who clears it back upfield again towards Piggott. Piggott chests it down, but Kasumu's there to clear. Cullenby once more. Still Cullenby. Plays it back to McDonnell. McDonnell clears upfield right-footed. Healy gets the man of the match award. Well, he played well, but Sam Nombe every day.
It's the most ridiculous. I mean, yeah, it's not ridiculous that Healy got it,
but Nombe's was man of the match by a country mile. But he's off now, watching on as we are, as Wimbledon play it forward again. Good header away by Walsh, and Lewington will just wallop it upfield, and Bowery will go chasing after it with Delaney. Delaney clears it back upfield away by Walsh, and it will go out of play for a Wimbledon throw. They're keeping them out at the moment. They've had that chance from the set piece, Wimbledon, with the header wide by Kalambai, but can they create another opportunity? A minute of the added time to go. Played forward towards Pigott. Pigott flicks it on. Walsh is there to clear. Walsh up towards the halfway line. Bowery underneath it with Delaney. Delaney heads it down. Breaks for Riley. Riley to Sanders. Sanders plays it out to Guinness Walker down the left-hand side. Faced by Boateng. Still Guinness Walker. Still Guinness Walker. Delaney on the overlap. Threads it through to Delaney now. Delaney clips in the cross in towards the back post. It's a poor one. What a poor cross from Delaney, and it drifts out of play for a goal kick. Guinness Walker should have just played it in himself. He'll give it to the centre half on the overlap. His cross has sailed out, and that, I think, will be the last opportunity for Wimbledon. They got themselves back into it. Don's facing an anxious last 10 minutes, and but for that, well, only that set piece header wide, they really haven't looked troubled, despite the fact they've been defending the penalty area. Nichols clears over the halfway line. We've had the 4 minutes of added time. Hooked forward by Riley towards Pigott. Headed away by Walsh. Referee has his whistle in his mouth. It's full time. It's 3 points for MK Dons. It's victory for Paul Tisdale's side against their old rivals. Nervous at the end, Luke Ashmead, which it didn't or shouldn't have needed to be. 2-1. Comfortable for much of the game. But in the end, hanging on a little bit. Well, 2-1. 3 points in the bag, 2 good goals. Yeah, but work to do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let's just get the first thing out of the way. The result today was important for lots of reasons. Yeah, they need 3 points in League One. Everyone knows that. Winning games is great, but they will always want to win a game against AFC Wimbledon, and they'll want to win rather than see them win in any great style. A goal off the backside of the referee would be, if you win 1-0, the MK Don supporters will be happy with the victory. So they've done that. Yes, they've scored 2 good goals by 2 players who I thought played really well. Nombe's finish was super. He was strong. He caused them problems all afternoon. Healy was really good as well. And there were some good passes and good play at points during the game. But on the flip side of that, a lot of inadequacies, poor set pieces, passing from players like Houghton at times I thought was poor. Kasumu wasn't, I don't think, quite up to it, I should say. You know, sometimes I wonder whether, I mean, Conor McGrandles did well and tackled well. Is he a right wing back? Not for me, he's not. My point is that if the right players are playing in the right formation and playing well, this could have been 6-0, not 2-1. That's the point. They have the players, they have the ability, just sometimes they're getting it wrong. That's what I think.